room for some exciting stuff. And of course, bud, it's always fun watching Boomich, right? I will never get sick of watching this man on my screen. It's so good to have him back in Counter-Strike.
It is. It's amazing to have him back, and I really hope that this is the beginning of kind of like a resurgence, not just for Boomich, not just for Axel, but for Cloud9 overall, because they've been an org within Counter-Strike for the longest time. Obviously, previously we're an American-based team. Now they're over on the other side of the world, so we'll see if they can get it done here. They're starting on the T side of Ancient, and already super aggressive out to mid, and 2 opening picks.
Okay, well the clouds have parted. And it's 9 bullets straight to your face. Goodbye, Frozen. See you later, Rain. Brokey up close, though, with the USP. Oh, not for long. Big booms on the server. And you're feeling his reverberations instantly towards Red Room. Rops and Karrigan, all that remains for FaZe on the pistol. It gets messy, overwhelmed. Rops crumbles up close and personal. And it's only Finn left.
One of the most prestigious IGLs out there, and not even given the honor of looking at him before you put him down. Shot straight in the back of the head from Cloud9. They're not going to be playing with their food today. And just to expand that point you raised about how good Exile is against FaZe, 39 maps played in his career, 1.18 rating against FaZe, and that includes this kind of drop-off over the last 6 months. So before then it was even higher. Typically a team that he does a lot of good work against, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because he's struggling against like tier 2, tier 3 teams. But for some reason, against FaZe, he just pops off.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, stylistically, what is it that just makes him play at his best versus this 5? I suppose we'll find out over the course of this one. Keep your eyes peeled for some incredible scenes from Exile. And for Cloud9, they're keeping their eyes peeled for any snakes in the grass here in the second round. FaZe Clan, they went for the donut stack, the sugary treat that if you ran into would leave you down on the floor with the USPs all grouped up on the off angles. Thankfully for them, they're clearing out with a slow round towards B, so could be in for a bit of a freebie on this one.
When we're talking about Exile kind of returning to a pretty solid form, it's actually a very similar story with Rops. Rops was another player for FaZe that was struggling for quite a while. He was one of the best players, if not maybe the best, coming into CS2. Really took to it fantastically well, and they had this drop-off period, but he's also making a comeback as well. Like, you look at the stats for FaZe coming into this, over the last 3 months, Frozen's 1.17, Rops is just behind him on a 1.16. Super close between the two of them, and Rops starting to have that same level of impact that people came to expect from him. So maybe just warming up at the best possible time. Yeah, I've got an 8K out of this start, it's surprising.
Yeah, the slow lurk back through T-spawn. Icy was there, but unable to spray them all down. So the 1-for-1 trade results in something far worse for him. He loses his gun, but for FaZe, it's a nice save on Karrigan. So they'll keep that AK in play. Not the worst outcome, considering you just go into it with USPs, mate. You'd take that.
100%. You'll happily take that. The only thing I'm a bit surprised at is that Karrigan hasn't dropped that across to somebody else. Because typically, obviously, he's not going to be up at the top of the scoreboard. He's very aware of this. He knows his limitations, he knows his strengths, and there's many of the latter rather than the former. But maybe pop that AK into, like, Rops' hands or Frozen. But we'll see. He has games where he goes huge, Karrigan. He has it within him for sure. Maybe this is one of them.
Sometimes you can lead by example.
Sure.
So maybe with the AK, we'll do a bit of talking on the server. We'll have to wait and see, though. Slow start to the round. Cloud9 taking a bit of space here and there. Huge exchange of utility. 3 smokes waiting in the hands of FaZe as well for contact. And that's the last 3 that remain. Minute and 20 on the clock. Karrigan, he's deep in cave side. If you catch some info, he'll smoke that out. Resmoke round on the ramp as well.
Boomich anticipating that maybe a CT is going to peek into caves. Very unlikely. The 2 IGLs, just a small wall divides the 2 of them. And Karrigan is waiting to pop in that smoke. But now the smoke is clearing at the forefront of the B site. Karrigan backs off. And that's what Boomich was waiting for. Anticipating that any cave player may fall back. That Karrigan's moved back into position. The problem here for Cloud9 is they haven't really forced any of these players away or on a rotation themselves. So although a set play's coming in, they're going to have to deal with 3.
Revving their engines for the burst. Carrigan with the AK in his hands. Strikes first. Ooh, good for the follow-up as well. Two-piece makes a world of difference now. Rain's a bit paranoid about the run out, but he's trying to stay focused on ramp. Heavy is the hand of Heavy God. Slaps him back down. Leaves him in the 3 versus 3 retake. Broky taking no prisoners on contact. Rops equalizes as well, and Frozen assists. So they pull it back off. Grab that one from Cloud9 on the run in towards B. Find their first round early on the CT side.
They do, and Carrigan with 2 hugely important kills to kick the round off as well. Locks down Cave with a double on that AK, showing us why he kept it for himself. It's a costly round for FaZe, but Cloud9 not exactly in a great position themselves. These are the 2 kills that kicked it off, and he did damage also to Heavy God behind. It's a nice effort really, considering that they were up against it in that post plant for the tease. They do hold on. Mac 10 in play for Heavy God, a Galil on Icy, and no money in the bank. A great opportunity for FaZe to get their CT side established early on.
Early nades cast out. In case there was any close aggression towards lane and Cave. It's an off angle on the fullback for Carrigan. Boomich somewhat suspicious about it. Molly goes on the right-hand side, so they can't peek into assist, but do they clear it? Ooh. Looked like it was going to be uncomfortable. But Boomich still gets his man. Takes down the IGL of FaZe. Forces a little bit of a shuffle as well. They're peeking out on Donut for the info now. Paranoid in case they bled up close towards Red Room. And the wrap around from Rops to assist. Just under a minute on the clock. Axel's been lurking this entire time, waiting for his opportunity to strike. Coiled like a viper. Goes in for one, but Frozen severs the rotate. Rest of the squad now running it in towards A.
Although mid presence was dispatched, it's going to be a quick play right to the face of the site on the A side here. Not slowing down, realizing there was a momentary weakness, and they've made the most of that fragile state of affairs. And while Frozen comes in and knows exactly what's coming up, he needs to wait for some of the troops to arrive here. He can't do this all alone. Rain in no position to help out alongside Rops, and I think holding on to 2 AKs is certainly the call if you're FaZe. You know, if you lose out in this round, you're going to be in trouble. And Cloud9 have done it. Simple, straightforward, making the most of a small window of opportunity and dialing in for a 3rd time against FaZe Clan.
Nothing overly flamboyant, just playing the numbers, playing the smart CS. Boomich wins his 1v1. And Axar was able to catch him on the lurk out through mid as well. And just like that, Cloud9 grabbing themselves another round. Now, of course, going into it, it looked a little bit worse in terms of the weaponry. Coming out, though, you've got the orb that can be dropped over to Icy. And he's someone that really can thrive. If he comes alive early, especially in this kind of environment before, we've seen it with our own eyes. He's one of those players that always seems to hit the hard ones, Vince.
Yeah, consistency is a little bit of an issue with Icy. I mean, we saw this at the last RMRs. I think he was playing with Amcal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he was just going huge, especially on Nuke. I remember very vividly on Ramp, he got like 20 kills in 1/2 on CT side Nuke. Very capable AWPer, but like you say, sometimes misses out on the easy ones. And FaZe, the kind of team that are going to exploit that. You can't give them any opportunities. Taking mid control with ease, with limited utility. Frozen wants to get aggressive, but Axel's read the script. He's a step ahead. Nails him through the smoke and gives a huge advantage. Cloud9 to try and snatch on this and capitalize. And Boomich with the entry. Looking good for a 4-1. FaZe just can't get themselves into comfortable positions on the CT side.
Deja vu. 2 kills in the round forced into a save for FaZe. Can't really get your hands on that AK either. As Axel's here. So it's got to be the 2 rifles and the MP9 for Broky that's brought into the next. And Axel, only 2 kills, but both of them full of impact.
Yeah, threading the bullets through the smoke there onto Frozen, like, it's so valuable. The round hanging by a thread at that stage for FaZe. They needed a valiant attempt from Karrigan on the site, but he couldn't really do much. And it's mainly facilitated because FaZe had a lack of utility. They prioritized firepower over getting extra grenades. Once they took mid control, they knew they had to do something with it. It's all well and good having mid control, but at some point, once those smokes and Molotovs fade, you have to deal with Heaven, Elbow, potentially a wraparound on one of the sites as well. And there's only so much you can do with 2 players there. You need an extra set of eyes. That's why Frozen went aggressive. And it could have just been a fantastic read by Axal, to be fair. Realizing that was a possibility, why not go for the pre-fire through the smoke? You have nothing to lose at that point.
In terms of the head-to-heads with these core lineups as well. Only the one previous matchup back at the Blast Premier full groups. That was a 2-1 win for FaZe, but again, scoreline was closer than you might think. Cloud9 took the second map 13-7. Went on to lose the third and final map of Mirage 16-14. It was a blinding series from Icy and Axile. Icy put up a 70-44 KD over the course of the 3 maps. That's why we're giving him a little bit of love, wanting to see him shine bright in a matchup like this. For FaZe, though, you could roll with the punches, straight back in with the weapons they were able to save, and plugging the gaps with pistols where the cash flow won't allow them to get a better buyout. Brokey tucked into the off angle inside a cave, MP9. He could do a ton of damage if they play into his hands here.
Going up for a triple boost. Karrigan has been outplayed. And Brokey, in the meanwhile, needs Rain to try and deliver, and he shall. Bullets to the head of Boomich and Axar through the wall. And that triple boost, a thing of beauty, but it could turn ugly real quick here for Cloud9.
Ironically, it's Rain that might make that one play look like a drop in a big ocean of a round. The Heavy God holds strong, good for the first. Follow-ups there as well. P250 from Frozen, ice cold. Blood in the veins, looking good for the damage done with the P250. He can get himself a firearm as well. AK in his hands now. And Robs watching back towards Red Room. Unconfirmed information about where Inters is, and time could be everything. If he can find a way to get this fight onto Frozen, maybe there's room for the round. Spots him on the walkout though, able to hold the backline. Those free kills make a world of difference. And it's even the AWP on exit, so you can pass that back over to Brokey. And FaZe finding an answer where they really didn't have too much to their name.
And that round for me really captures FaZe in a nutshell when it comes to RMRs and majors. They somehow, out of nowhere, managed to clutch out, and it was Rain this time. A big game player, a big tournament player.
Yeah.
Needed to find some level of impact, and he got 2, and then 2 P250, I think it was, with Frozen, before he traded up for the AK as well. Oh, that's got to be a bitter pill to swallow if you're Cloud9, because you got that pick, it was so sick. And then everything just fell apart at the seams, but they've already bypassed straight into A main, and they're looking for a fast execute.
They want to go quick with it. Can they be slick? I'll tell you, Hanan, who absolutely can. It's Brokey, back of the bomb site. Good for the first. Chip in onto Inters. Boomich will trade. Boost over the top as well. Axel put on the pedestal. He's got high ground to play with. Ooh, stereo frags found. Both Frozen and Rops being left down on the door. Rain has to push ahead. Oh my. Rain coming alive. Another one of those rounds where he finds a huge amount of impact. Sprays his way through 2. Tucks into the smoke. Late lurk for Boomich. He's coming in around the back. Is he going to be able to assist on this one? Heavy God just tucks in towards Donut. Got to find where they are.
He has the nuts position right now. He's seen the shadow, and he will not miss that shot. And now Rain in a real world of hurt. I'm not sure if he's even gone for the reload on his M4 just yet. He had the USP out for ages. Yeah, he's not reloaded his M4. The bomb down. You have to have some supreme confidence in your pistol work right now. I assume he just doesn't want to give his position away. But you're now playing at a deficit. You're going to have the first kill go your way. Can fall back into the smoke and reload. But Heavy God has enough time to go for the plant. Trying to fake out. has been successful. 10 seconds left on the clock. Heavy God has to go in for it. Plants out in the open, and there is Rain. The veteran delivers once again with a 4K.
That's so switched on from Rain. Belief in himself, like you said, didn't get the reload off. Had the USP, goes in for one, gets that opening frag. And then the bait play on the run out to force him off the bomb. At that point, you've got 10 seconds left, so Heavy God knew his win condition, had to force the issue with the retap on the bomb. And Rain ruins them. This is how it started as well. The transition, Vince. It's not just the horizontal, it's the vertical as well, right? The flick up.
That's fucking insane, holy man.
Yeah, it was insane.
Just another day at the office for Rain, though. Just like, yeah, bro, I got this. That's what I'm talking about, though. They're such clutch players. You can never write them off. It doesn't matter what kind of form they're in coming into a RMR or a major. FaZe will always be up there because you have players like Rain. He may not perform in like 3 or 4 maps, but he's always going to have that one where he completely pops off. And he's so calm under pressure. Feels like he never cracks, he never breaks. How do Cloud9 battle with the fact that they've had 2 rounds now that should have been theirs that have totally backfired? This could easily be like a 6-1 scoreline.
Yeah, genuinely. Of how this game's gone. If Rain doesn't find the impact he had in both rounds, if Frozen wasn't able to deal damage with the P250, massively different outcome on the scorecard. But this is the present we're left with. Oh, Brokey might be caught with this one. He's trying to backpedal. They let him get inside though. He's tucked back in towards the cave. He can reset things a little bit. He's still alive, but he's given up so much space. And this is where these Tech-9s will thrive. Up close, in your face, try and take the chaos straight to them. Axar with a Molotov, baits out the peak from Rain. He burns to a crisp. Robs as well. Looking for the spam shot. He's seen where the Molotovs come from. It is tucked back over. Karrigan blind spams the smoke, and Axile's there to take the damage.
Double peek out alongside, and they've dealt with Frozen and Rops. Karrigan and Brokey both incredibly low, about 50 HP between the two of them, and they have to peace out. They've got an AWP. They need to hold on to it for dear life. And again, Cloud9 just battering and bruising FaZe on this B side of the map. And it's been down to individual moments of just sheer brilliance from Frozen and Rain that have kept FaZe in this game. Cloud9 are running the show right now on this T-half. Rops on 1 kill. They can't get into it right now. It feels like 1 step forward and several steps backwards for FaZe.
And it was just chaos on the side. Brokey got that first tag out. Oh, look at the little smirk from Boomich. Oh my.
He's loving it.
What a gangster.
Understandable, man. He's had such a good read. So many good calls. Rops, though, activates for the 2nd time on the map. Axile sent sprawling. It's going to be yet another A-side play. Through on main side here, Frozen getting 1. A ton of damage to the 2nd, but Heavy got an icy. Once again, come through clutch. Rops in the periphery, in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. Assassinates the first, but traded into a 2-on-2. And the post plant should be coming up while the smokes are down, but Karrigan denies with a 2nd left on the plant. And this forces Icy into a horrible position now.
You can let him stew. Slow it right down. It's all on Icy here. He didn't have to force the issue. Icy, a bit paranoid about the walkout towards Temple side. Peppering a bullet from Karrigan. He takes the first fight, doesn't know about the backline. Deagle taps go out, but they don't kill him. He's still alive. Takes the jiggle back in. That's not a fight you want to take against Rain right now, because he's delivering again and again. 8 kills. The 3rd shot is the lucky charm to finish him. Mate, that's a round that looked like it was going so wrong as well. MP9 up close, felt like it should have got more. The AWP shot from Brokey felt like it should have got something. Bit by bit, Vince, they were able to find success in what shouldn't have been their round. But then this happens, Karrigan through the smoke, and it all tumbles down.
Mate, I swear FaZe have put all of their points in clutch today, coming into this game. Like, entry frags? Nah. Consistency? Hell no. Clutch? Yeah, go on then. We'll have some of that. Rain with another one. Carrigan this time finds the perfect moment to strike, and Axile will fall prey to the Heaven Peak. Boomich in the meanwhile with his Tech 9 gets traded out, and Cloud9 picking up the pace. Another shot from Brokey, and it's Carrigan that seals the deal. Cloud9 are not waiting around on this half. They've played so aggressive.
It's good to see from Brokey as well. Frustrated off the back of the previous round where it felt like he should have been able to find a ton of impact from his angle. Got nothing from it. Slams the desk slightly, resets himself mentally, comes straight back in and hits some showstoppers on the quick hit. Even Carrigan took his time, found the head, shut him down. This was the two-piece from Brokey, really clean.
Nice, let's go! Fucking...
That's good to see, Vince. Instantly shakes it off.
Yeah, he's clearly got some pent-up emotions. Best to channel that into aggression, anger, if it works for you. But it is a very fine sword, which is two-edged, of course. We saw the other side of that, the slap on the desk. Can't get in your own head too much. But Cloud9 finally run out of money, run out of steam. Looking good that FaZe will take the lead. For the first time on this map, by the way, they've been trailing throughout after losing the pistol. Just before half-time. That's, of course, assuming that something utterly insane doesn't happen with two P250s.
I feel like this is the kind of game where anything can happen from the rounds we've seen. Lose this one, though. It would be a real brutal state of affairs. Is it starting to happen? Push up towards the site, luckily enough. Rain's in position with the superior firepower. Rattles off the shots. One by one, they're dropped. Heavy got the last one remains, and Rops will lop off the head. So a 6th locked in for FaZe.
Lead taken as expected, even though there was a couple of jitters. I'm sure Carrigan won't be wanting to watch back that trade anytime soon. Just caught in a very rough angle and multiple players peeking into his crosshair. Can Cloud9 dial it back here and win the final round of the half to take us to even? It is one that they are going to be bitterly disappointed by, because genuinely this could have been Cloud9 on 8 or 9 rounds. They had many opportunities. FaZe always came through and delivered. Axile with the entry, quickly suppressed by Rops, but Heavy God up on Heaven. This has typically been where Axile's been pushing in, but he gets caught. Brokey was watching. A different angle, but it's the same outcome.
And Brokey looking to find even more here. With the support of Carrigan wrapping on the back. You're going to have them trapped in and they won't even know it. Icy fully blind, back turned, lines up the shot, tries to convert the kill. Thought he was dead, flicks off him. Inters with a reply because of it. Tap through the smoke, Brokey. He's low, but as soon as the smoke dissipates, so does the life of Inters, and then they just feed him the kills. 3 kills on the round, and a 7th there.
Well, we talk about channeling the desk slap into a bit of aggression, and Brokey's going to be feeling a whole lot better now, just 2 rounds afterwards. The tide and fortunes can quickly change in CS. 7-5 scoreline. I don't think that's necessarily fair to Cloud9, but fair's got nothing to do with it in Counter-Strike. You got to make the most of your chances, and you got to give a lot of credit. Rain in particular has had a stellar half. Up to 11 kills, 2 clutches, 3 multi-kill rounds. The guy is popping off right now.
Yeah, soundtrack of the first half was R&B. Because it was Rain and Brokey making the plays, man. Had a good ring to it, right? I like that one.
That was good. I appreciate that one.
There you go, bro. I've been workshopping some stuff for today, Vince.
Nice.
Got some things up my sleeves. What does Cloud9 have up their sleeve, though? First half, definitely making me believe there is room for him to make some upsetting plays. Keep this one really close. Weirdly enough as well, right? The player we were touching on that always has highlight performances versus FaZe in Axile. He's the one that seems to be a bit of a sleeping giant right now.
Yeah, Axile had a couple of moments. I'm thinking of that frozen smoke shot that he connected. He got an entry in the last round as well, but not quite the levels that we were maybe anticipating, considering how he was coming into this tournament. Heavy God has been what we kind of expected. He's been out there fragging, he's been out there getting entries time and time again. But can they get it done on their CT side where they have to absorb and soak up the pressure rather than dispatching it out? So far, FaZe stacking 4 players on middle with a P250 in the hands of Rain and Brokey. Plenty of utility as well. A smoke and flash still affording them the chance to execute on either site. And although they spotted a couple of pixels from time to time, it's fleeting and nothing really sticking for Cloud9. They're now being bypassed through on middle. They're trying to play on the periphery of the map. Boomich is going to be called upon to go huge here. Has to back off for the time being, and Heavy God can move in and try and land some headshots.
Oh, Heavy God! Man, this is where he really does go sick. Pistol rounds, he can be so damn devilish. Deagles, USPs, doesn't matter what it is. He hits damn heavy with them. Huge impact on this one. Leaves it all on Karrigan. Mere moments ago, the entire roster was alive. Now he falls flat on his face to the backstab of Icy's Julies. And Cloud9 picking up an important round there.
That was a really cool, fluid defense on the pistol. Like, you saw they kept doing these jiggle peeks for intel and taking a shot here and there, but not fully committing, and more importantly, not overextending to die. They kept falling back into more static positions, and that allows Heavy God to just pop off from that 3K spot that we just saw. Really nice. Fast rotation from Icy as well. It looked like FaZe were getting most of the control of the map, but they were actually walking in to a trap itself that Cloud9 was springing. And no post-plant, no kills means nothing really to speak about in this round. For all intents and purposes, Cloud9 should just be feasting.
FaZe Clan could be on the menu. It sees the fresh meat, chops them up. And it's only Brokey that's left. Makes quick work of them with the SMG. Get through that round cleanly. That's exactly what you want off the back of the eco from FaZe. Only the one drop weapon on the SMG of Inters, you won't give a damn. You'll come straight back into this one with your heads held high. And this is where the second half really begins. Round 15, rifles to play with. FaZe Clan coming out with their first rifle round.
Oh yeah, this is where things dial up a notch or two. FaZe, full AKs across the board. Cloud9 with a bit of a bonus. They still have MP9 for Boomich. Oh, run boost as well. It's slick. Axile up quick on the heaven. He's going to push through here. We saw he loved to play this on the T side. How's his CT looking? The flash, though, is on point. Fully blinding Axile. Never stood a chance.
A lot of control of the map already exchanged into the hands of FaZe. They can slow it right down. First pick's good. Damage back, sure, but not enough to leave you with a lot of confidence yet. You've got to play on the back foot a little bit here. Boomich close towards Cave with the MP9. They come running on in, sure. Rest of the squad repositions round towards mid. Face out through red room. Frozen. Froze the smoke. Set up a Karrigan for the swing. Ooh, Inters. Finds that one. Hell of a snapshot back on the Rops as well. Softens them up.
And you're going to be tilted if you're Frozen. He did nothing wrong. Just nailed through the smoke. Wrong place at the wrong time. Now Cloud9. But Boomich up close with the MP9. Needs to pivot in for at least a kill. The Karrigan doing his due diligence. Clearing out all the angles. And that gives FaZe the narrow advantage. Molotov toss to the side, gonna try and draw away the plant flat a little bit longer, allow the rotation to come in as well for Icy. However, it is one-dimensional. All three players at the backside of the site. Grenade comes in, but Brokey was fully healthy at the time, so he's okay. Shrugs off the shrapnel. And now Cloud9, with just a flashbang between the three of them, have got to try and perfectly place this and look for those re-engaging kills. Brokey stuck behind the pillar as well. The spots here for FaZe look so powerful. Cloud9 have got to fully commit before they can even see somebody. Karrigan goes down, but a ton of damage onto Heavy God, who's going to be finished off, and now the curtain comes down. The positions that FaZe had for that retake was so solid, so powerful, that Karrigan, it was fine for him to sacrifice himself to the CS gods, because he knew they'd stalled long enough.
Yeah, you were giving him nothing. No easy fights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Understandable.
It's the reaction we thought we'd see.
We've all been there, Frozen. Maybe not in an RMR, to be fair.
Yeah, true. Late night on a FaZe hit game, mate. A little bit different.
So I can't even be mad. I just take the L, I guess. Just sit here.
Yeah. Guess we win the round, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely going to do a lot to the tilt. Detox him a little bit.
Get those electrolytes back in. Refresh yourself. And Boomich, he was quite fitting, actually. Obviously, same fight he took versus Carrick in the first half. Same angles. He knows all too well about the tight left box. So 1 round behind now. FaZe answering the call early into the second half. Single kit invested into on Boomich with the smoke. Mishmash of pistols as well. Heavy gob with the deagle. That's his signature weapon for me, Vince. When he's on a pistol round like this, he can go absolutely wild.
Oof. Tagged down to 19, though. Not sure if that was... I think it was a HE that was tossed in by Brokey. I don't think it was the wall bang. He's been watching that alcove position the entire round, pretty much. So well-placed bit of utility. Unconfirmed damage, but they'll have a good read of the economy of Cloud9, and they are walking into the stacked site right now. Boomich is watching the back just to make sure they're not being flanked. The rest have their eyes trained on these entry points. Playing with his food a little bit, Axel, but he's just looking for intel with the shoulder peek. FaZe still have a minute left on the clock. They could vacate the premises and get over onto the A site, but they feel like they fully committed to this one, Jackie. The bomb is even over here on the ramp.
Robs has been lurking the entire time, playing for the extremity push out through A. He's seen nothing. Even gone back to clear towards mid. But you can see he's still a little bit paranoid. They don't believe it's the full stack on the site from all 5. But Rain, he could absolutely skin him alive here. Angle's good for the first. 1 by 1, they're peeking into him. Flashed down by his teammate. Axar's the only one that answers with a single pickup. Boomich inside of the smoke. Won't be long for this world. And that's how FaZe ascend to 9.
Bit of a shake at the end for Carrigan, trying to get off the ring rust. An awkward spray didn't matter. He got the kill, and more importantly, FaZe got the round. It was a bit of a gimme, though. It was a formality. A full eco with a couple of deagles and banana peels and hurdles, but now they have to contend with Icy on the AWP. We haven't quite seen the full skill ceiling explored by Icy yet. He's a very good AWPer. When he's feeling it, he is honestly one of the best on the planet, I think. It's consistency that really holds him back. This is where he needs to start to show his hands. Good grenade, though. Heavy God repaying from last round with a HE straight onto the face of Brokey.
Oh, my. Might not matter, though. Carrigan runs straight on in. Molotov in his hands, but Brokey will do the work for you. Trade straight back. Boomich trapped in the corner. Explosive breakfast. He's blown to bits. And it's only Inters and Icy that's left. Icy's close by, but Brokey scoped in, honed on the angle. If you went for the peak, you'd be a dead man. It's lucky he pulls the plug, save both of the weapons. That's the bigger idea behind this one. Back out, keep that AWP alive. Does mean, though, FaZe starting to close the distance here in their BO1, moving on to 10 rounds.
Brokey's leveling up as well. He finished the first half very strong with that 3K and the clutch on top of it. Not showing any signs of slowing down. 2 in this round with the rifles. And now has an AWP by his side. Bomb detonation for a 10th FaZe Clan round. It feels kind of similar to the last map we casted, actually, between Vitality and GamerLegion, where it's like Cloud9 were really fast out the blocks. They've had a bunch of opportunities, a lot of clutches for FaZe. And now that the home stretch is here, and FaZe have fully spread their wings, there only looks like there's going to be one winner, realistically. Icy's not just been given an opportunity to show us anything. Like, they lose the site so quick, has to be a save.
Frustration setting in off the back of it as well. Feeling like you could have done more in the position you were in. Icy trying to keep him guessing with the placement of the AWP, this time supporting the defense towards the B site. It's an early A-focused setup. Deep inside of main. Smoke round onto Donut as well. Inters is up on the boost. Axel's there with just the P250, trying to play inside of Donut. See if he can catch him on the split. Then you've got the lurk of Rain as well. So if they go for the info play out through ramp side, he should be able to clean him up easy.
Should being the operative word. We'll see if they actually do. Here's our FaZe have been looking clinical. Given an inch, they have snatched away a mile. Axel forced out of position on Donut. They have wasted quite a bit of time off the clock though, but still 50 seconds. 2 smokes and an incendiary still at disposal of Cloud9. Looking to try and expel this push as they lock in with the A-side defensive positions, whereas Heavy God comes through with a 5-7 into Temple. Will be Molotov'd off, but he is up close and personal enough to make a real go of this one. FAMAS spray is good for 1 and a ton of damage onto the second. The Heavy God has not shown his hand as a second Molotov lands on Temple. So he's biding his time and waiting for that right opportunity to strike in. And Brokey on low HP has been finalized. Heavy God now perched up on the box, needs his teammate to help out, but Icy is instantly evaporated by Rain's AK. And FaZe get across to an 11th round. There were moments there though, Jackie. Moments I thought Cloud9 were going to snatch it.
Wasn't clean for FaZe whatsoever. But a bitter pill to swallow for Cloud9. The run out with a 5-7, I'm thinking they have a real good chance in that one, but Icy couldn't get it done up close and personal. Just blows up in his face. Rain finds this connection on the sprint through the smoke.
Xbox. Nice!
Calm on the comms as well. Celebration off the back of the round. We head to the 19th for FaZe Clan leading 11-7. Icy was able to afford himself another orb. Some concessions made in terms of the utility. Awful lot of smoke thrown out early as well. So you leave yourself relatively dry for the late rounds. Bit of a change up of pace towards mid though.
Mid smoked off twice, but those are going to clear momentarily. And now FaZe starting to bypass a couple of these positions. They were boosted up on the box again, but Brokey has fell off. Another smoke tossed in. Not many more to play with. 1 in actual fact, and that's Inters over on A. So this B site for over a minute is going to have to stand under extreme scrutiny and pressure with very little in terms of utility. And so this may force them into an aggressive cave push. They've double stacked it with Heavy God and Boomich. But this is leaving the ramp very fragile. Axel is effectively watching this alone. And now the nades start to come in. Smoke toss to Axel's position, but they could just bypass this and head back over onto A. Mid is completely bereft of CTs, and that's what FaZe are going for.
Icy. This is a round where we need to see what you're made of. So much pressure put on, 2 angles to focus on. The AK's getting close and personal, and Frozen finds him whilst his attention is back round on Donut. And for Cloud9, you can see the problems running through their minds. You go for this round, you leave yourself hung drong and quartered going into the next. You have nothing to work with in terms of the weapons, and it would be a very slippery slope. You've got to save all 3 of these guns, give up another round, allow FaZe to climb to match point here in the BO1.
I think this is really like a cool moment to just establish that because FaZe Clan have conditioned Cloud9 so many rounds by playing aggressively in mid, by playing aggressively on B, well, a nice shot from Axel, it's not going to stop 12-7 score. Cloud9 didn't have much utility, and they expended so much of it early in the round that they just didn't have anything late game. If they had a smoke or an incendiary, then Icy could play Xbox pretty happy that they're not going to push him. He had to fully focus attention on Donut and just got smacked in the side of the head. This is the problem when you're Cloud9. If you don't have the utility, do you hold on to it? Do you gamble for late round, or do you think a rush is coming? It's such a difficult decision to make. And that's really Carrigan just being in their minds, conditioning them to just feel super uncomfortable and unstable the entire CT side.
Hey, you've been toying with them. And we saw that being the trend, right? Opening moments, everything's getting thrown. The kitchen sink's even being launched out towards mid, all the smokes on B, the early offensive utility leaving you dry. Another one of those rounds as well, where things went slightly differently towards Donut. Maybe Icy's able to make the play. Winters was able to shut him down, find 1 or 2 picks on the contact. He could have kept his focus, but forced to watch 2 angles at once. They swarm the site. And the round dies there. No opportunity to warp for him now. All rifle. One of those being the FAMAS in the hands of Boomich. They've got the utility, but how do they use it? Early offensive nades down on mid. Brokey on the receiving end, but goes unscathed for the damage. Ooh, tries to get back up close though. Didn't realize just how tight Axal had gotten himself. In deep. Finds that first pick.
Made the most of some really good spawns, but they have lost Inters through our middle, and this puts Axile in a world of hurt. He is alone. He's going to be pushed in too, and Rops finishes him off. He knew the weakness and the vulnerabilities of middle and exploited it fully. And whereas you could say in the first half FaZe were living by a thread of just clutch after clutch, this second half has been pure domination. Cloud9 win both pistols and only have 7 rounds to show for it, and it could be a done deal here unless they can pull off this 3v4.
Well, they bring it back into a 3 versus 3. But Carrigan, he's had his moments in the sun at the B site with the AK, and again here he finds the first. Boomich shut down through the smoke with a single bullet. Heavy God could be walking straight into the crosshair of Frozen as well. Tucks into the corner. Backside of the smoke, Frozen. He's going to walk into you on this. Oh no, they're right on top of each other. It just depends on the timing of the smoke fading. If he can find it, Heavy God says hello in the rudest way possible. Bomb drop because of it. Time starting to tick, 20 seconds on the clock. Flashes for himself, up in the air. Molly down, but he's not inside of the doors, and Icy, he's slipping out onto the bomb site, just needs to complete the play. Good for the spray down.
That's unfortunate for Frozen as well. Like, typically when you're trying to bypass through smokes, if you're getting blocked in an obvious spot, then you know exactly what's coming up. But the wall was so close to where he was getting blocked by Heavy God, he clearly thought he was just against the wall. And it totally threw him off. But still, the reaction speed of Heavy God there was significant. It looked like he was going to lose that fight still. The barrel was right in front of Frozen's eyes, and he still just got slapped straight to the dome. 12-8 the score then. And Heavy God is showing us he is the real deal. He is keeping Cloud9 in this game.
Could be a very explosive player to watch. This was the moment, the awkward encounter. Oh, you can see the turn on the AK barrel as well, just how close it was. Then Icy with the heads-up call.
It's just not been Frozen stays. It got wrecked through a smoke by Inters. Now this has happened. They don't have to be bangers, man, as long as you get the win. That's all that matters, and you are in a very good spot to do just that. But Cloud9 still fighting. Still in with a shot as a trade comes through, and Frozen on the opposite side of the spectrum from Axal's M4. Carrigan, though, will punish. And once again, Cloud9 find themselves a player behind, and it's the exact same 3 players to clutch.
Does Lightning strike twice? Or is it Brokey that only needs to pull the trigger once, straight to the face of Boomich? The scope delivers. And now it gets even harder for Cloud9. Looking to cling on to the game, drag themselves into another round. And Carrigan, it would have been his second of the round, fighting down towards mid-side. Instead, it's just a tag onto Icy, still alive. Rain can peek into it. Icy shouldn't have the drop on him. Turns at just the wrong time, falls because of it. Heavy God, he's played a blinder, 16 kills. But now you need a 1 versus 3 clutch to keep your team in it.
Well, he's going to do nothing in the grand scheme of things. Doesn't block off the entry point. So Heavy God's already bypassed that molly and smoke into Temple. The timing may afford him the 1 kill, but the problem is, where does he go from that point? And Rain! Oh, well, he just delivers once again when it's required. A vintage performance from him, especially in that first half, gets FaZe across the finish line for the 1-0.
There you have it. Celebration off the back of the confirmation that the win is theirs in the best